Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Is she live or is she Memorex?
Neither. Today's my birthday and nobody cares.
I care, but I don't know who you are.
Neither do I.
Nobody listens to me!
I'd listen to you.
I've always been performing. On stage, class clown, troublemaker number one, a lifelong storyteller. But it's never been just about being funny. You see, I want people to feel something, to laugh, to cry, to see things a little differently. That's been my language since before I knew the law had one too. When I started law school, we were asked to make a short video introducing ourselves and to share a place we'd like to go. Most students talk to their phones. Me? I made a travel montage.
Hi, my name is Mark Bacalor. I was born in upstate New York, grew up in the Bay Area in Northern California, and have spent the last 20 years in the Agoura Hills area. If I could visit one place in the world, it would have to be going back to New York City.
It wasn't about being extra. It was about staying me inside a world that speaks in citations. In the quiet between cases, I was starting to hear the law's rhythm, but it didn't come easily. A few semesters in and I was buried in outlines, long nights at the library, missing dinners, missing my family, still waiting for it all to really make sense. And then came Professor Tenzer's torts midterm. After weeks of preparation, I wrote an entire essay on the wrong issue. The question wasn't even about negligence, but my answer was... I thought about walking away, but something inside me stayed. And somewhere in those sleepless hours, I found the rhythm. You build the pieces, then you watch them form the whole. Then came a case that stopped feeling academic. Bystander recovery for negligent infliction of emotional distress. Thing versus Lechusa. 3 elements, bright line rules, until it resembled my own life. In the hypothetical, a child died from a roller coaster fall at a local carnival. In real life, I'm a stepfather raising 2 boys. The law asks, who's closely related enough to recover? Well, I wonder what close enough really means. That memo cracked something open. The law isn't so abstract anymore. It's personal, ethical, human. I've seen systems that confuse the very people they claim to serve. Families who don't speak the language, parents afraid to ask questions. I don't just want to win cases. I want to make the system navigable. Even in law school, I've kept creating. When logic hit a wall, imagination built a bridge. From Hamilton to moon missions, I've turned doctrine into a story and memorized the law by making it sing.
Adverse possession.
From the makers of To the Moon and Back comes the year's hottest new study soundtrack. 12 subjects, 50 doctrines, 1 panicked student with a microphone.
We sat down at the table, tried to make the issue right. Said I pay you what I owe you if we could just get through this fight. But none of that can prove I did in a court of law misuse. Unless my talks were stalling, crime obstructing or approved.
Chain of causation running straight and true.
They look like parodies, but even rhyme is a rule. Every chorus, a case. This is how I learn, through rhythm, not rote.
Victims fair game if D goes loud. Says they're violent, P's allowed to counter with peace or mirror the trait. But in California, only if it's violence in the state.
Default hustle, didn't plan the game.
Two names, one mess, now we both get blamed. No ink, no seal, but I still got fame.
Libels in writing and slanders from speech. They're the options for the statements defamation can reach. Libel damages presumed, slander needs a bit more. Show the harm by D-trace to P's, cash out the door.
Every situation, blur jurisdiction line. State or fed, baby, which one's mine?
Mailbox room, I wrote too late. Posted my heart, but you changed the date. It's binding on sin, not when it's seen. But baby, that letter fell between. Promissory estoppel, hold me to it. Reliance real can undo it.
Fairness calls equity sing. You can't pull back those promised things.
A's independent, P can generally ignore liability for A's actions in the litigation wars. Unless the job's risky, fixed job A pick poor. If so, then P's liable with no luck or detour.
Who's liable now? Lines are drawn, pull the tape, principal to agent. Well, that just depends on the play. Facts will get weighed and the roles will get named. If you gave up the power, then you'll take the blame.
It's not escape, it's synthesis, turning chaos into cadence, making sense through sound. Law began as something distant, a glowing world I could see but not touch. Case by case, small steps turned into orbits. Logic gave me a path. Imagine gave me propulsion. Television tells us that lawyers are made in neon and that cases are solved in 48 minutes. Real practice is quieter. It's deliberate, human. Somewhere between the spectacle and the silence, I'm finding my place. Close enough isn't a limitation. It's where justice begins. Logic can take you from A to B, but imagination will take you everywhere. Everything I've learned, every case, every class, it's always come back to the same answer. It depends. And that is where the real stories begin.
Law school's an inside of once implausible wall. Who held the line when my mind hit the floor? It was me and my fam, that's my crew standing tall. Help me rise through it all. When the clock would say stop, but my notes still said go. Heather pulled me aside to remind pace is slow. Scope of the journey is important, you see. See the goal, improve life with a JD degree. And when fear says just quit, you can't do it. That's what my crew says, you've got this, push through it. Undeniable now, say it loud, that's the rule. Look at the heart, not the trenches of school. Dean Funk looked for a reason, while Tuttle sought proof. Tenzer's Perry Delicto, and Moon spoke the truth. Made a chorus from case law, found my groove in the writ. Turned the grind into craft till the pieces all fit. Rules take root when creative with how. Justice in reach, undeniable now. Seems precariously viable. My bond of pursuit, turning strain to inspiration, cause there's no substitute. Enter rhythm and reason as they got through the day. On this track down the path while I'm finding my way. And the road feels less long as my time's in control. As the chaos turns quiet, now so close to my goal. Pace of the grind and the doctrines at play. As law meets the arts, it's the songs that convey. Yeah. With Jacob's success and how Max perseveres, my people's the reason that I'm still right here. Priorities I've got, so if doubts to reappear, I'll just stand and take a breath and hear their faith in me clear. I've exposed dreams, redeeming hard work, a theme reoccurring as I see my work. Now I've got here my pen and my purpose in hand, where the verse and the brief share the very same plan. If it looks like a rhyme, but it speaks like a rule, that's the art and the law moving, purpose is dual. If my flow takes a turn, but the meaning's revealed, then the purpose resounds with intent unconcealed. That's re-amplification, and I own the whole deal. Even doubt finds a groove through this whole ordeal. Winding and daunting, the paths have their twists. If you're still with me, you're the us in justice. It's a challenge to focus, digging deep in my core, learning lessons from missteps and the blind spots I'd ignored. The rear view's now stronger, holding steady for sure. I continue to pursue the next chapter in store. Undeniable now, verdicts plain, growth mindset. So much light ends the tunnel. So close,
sights are all set. Now it all comes together, that dream that I saw. Now my life found a rhythm through art and the law.